now a man who has consistently distanced himself from all forms of hysteria, especially when it is centred around his own person. Revelations talks to J. Krishnamurti.
Hello. In the next 2 weekends, thousands of people will arrive at a country house in Hampshire. Their pilgrimage is to see and hear a man who, for many of them, is a spiritual figurehead in the same league as Buddha, Muhammad, and Jesus Christ. Now, these are comparisons which J. Krishnamurti, now 89 years of age, would be the first to shrug aside. He was born in India to parents who were neither particularly influential nor wealthy. There was, however, something special about him right from the start. At the age of 14, he was discovered by Annie Besant and C.W. Leadbitter of the Theosophical Society, a group of radical thinkers who believed there was a common strand of truth to all the world's great religions. They believed the young Krishnamurti was the new Messiah and groomed him to become the world's spiritual leader. At the age of 27, while in California, Krishnamurti had a revelation which changed his life. It happened while he was watching a man mending a road. He wrote, "That man was myself. The pickaxe he held was myself. I was in everything, or rather everything was in me, inanimate and animate." Later that day, Krishnamurti felt the presence of the Lord Buddha. He went on, "I have seen the light. I have touched compassion, which heals all sorrow and suffering. It's not for myself, but for the world." Not long after this, Krishnamurti rejected his title of world spiritual leader and disbanded the organization that had grown up around him. Everyone, he said, and still says, must find his or her own way to the truth. Well, nevertheless, although he rejects organized religion and titles such as leader or teacher, he has a huge following. Schools which bear his name have been set up in various parts of the world, which along with many other subjects study his thinking and writings. We went to one of these schools, Brockwood Park in Hampshire, to talk to Krishnamurti himself. Throughout your life you've been regarded as someone special, but what was it like at the age of 14 to be suddenly plucked from obscurity?
I'm afraid I don't remember actually. But I was rather shy. I avoided all this. I didn't like all the personal worship and kind of looked up as a great man and all that kind of stuff. As I grew up, I avoided crowds. When I was asked to speak in a public meeting, I was so shy. I tried to speak behind a curtain. And that didn't work out, so I came out from behind the curtain and talked. Probably I've led a rather lonely life. Not lonely in the sense apart, but keeping away from all the noise and all the fuss and all the absurdities.
Did you ever believe, as the people who were sponsoring you believed, that you were some sort of Messiah?
You know, that word Messiah is really Jewish word, comes from, you know that. I never bothered about it, really. Sounds rather funny, but I really seriously, I never bothered about it. Who I was, what I was. It was not very important. And I really mean it. And I was given great many properties all over the world. castle in Holland with 5,000 acres. I returned all that because I don't believe still organized religious structure, hierarchical attitude towards life.
But before you renounced the position that your sponsors were trying to put you in California, you had what I suppose I would describe as a revelation. What was revealed to you? I've read the story of when you saw a roadman.
Yeah. Yes.
You felt that you were part of him, part of the
Yes,
hammer he had in his hand.
Yes, but you see the difficulty is to go into it very seriously. I don't know how to put it clearly to you. You know, there's a great tradition among the serious religious people, perhaps not so much in the West, that you must go through various forms of self-purification. Not by starving, fasting and all that, torturing the body, but a sense of inward cleansing, as it were, if you can so put it. A purification of a brain that is not self-centered, that's not concerned with personal progress, personal achievement, and all that business. I think it was, and it is still is, a part of deep religious feeling that not the abandonment of the world, but share very little of it, as little as you can, because you have to live in this ugly world. Not the beautiful nature, but what man has made of it. I think that's what happened, to put it very, very simply.
That was what you realized when you,
yes,
on those
yes,
incidents when you,
yes,
you saw the road mender and when you
yes,
stood under the pepper tree,
yes,
and experienced, I think you described it as a supreme happiness.
Yes, more than happiness is really a side issue, but much more a sense of wholeness.
You've already mentioned your rejection of organized religion, but can you explain to us why you are so positively against
How
those
can
things?
you organize a human being according to a pattern? Whether it's a religious pattern, faith, belief, dogma, rituals, how can you shape man who is extraordinarily alive to a particular mode, like the communists are trying to do, the totalitarians are trying to force man to a certain way of thinking, which is so contrary to freedom.